Let's talk about Iran. In less than 24 hours from now, a delegation from Tehran will be in Oman to discuss a nuclear deal with the US. Whether it will be direct or indirect meeting is something we can't confirm at the moment. But one leader from the Middle East seems to be vying for the talks to fail even before they have begun. Why is Netanyahu calling for a Libya-style agreement in Iran? Is Trump on board with this plan? And what does this tell us about the future of the Middle East? I'm Ananya Dutta, and this is Grey Zone. So back in the early 2000s, in the backdrop of the 9/11 terrorist attack, the US was still traumatized. 9 months after Iraq's invasion, Libya's president Muammar Gaddafi stunned the world by opening Tripoli to the world. At the time, Libya was super isolated. The West saw Gaddafi as a rogue leader because Libya had been tied to terrorism in the past. And US intelligence pegged that Tripoli was producing weapons of mass destruction. Gaddafi welcomed international inspectors to verify that he's abandoning all chemical and biological programs. And in exchange, he wanted all sanctions lifted. Soon, an aircraft filled with inspectors from the US, UK, and international organizations reached the country. And over the course of a year, they destroyed any nuclear-related activities across the country. While Gaddafi had complied, as soon as the Arab Spring protests began in 2011, the West turned against him. A NATO-led military intervention ousted Gaddafi, and he was killed the same year. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is suggesting the same plan for Iran.
We agree that Iran must not have nuclear weapons. This can be achieved through an agreement, but only if it's a Libya-style agreement. You go in, blow up the facilities, dismantle all the equipment, under American supervision and executed by the Americans. That's acceptable. The second possibility is that it doesn't happen, that they just drag out the talks, and then the option is military.
It is clear Netanyahu believes the chances of reaching a diplomatic agreement with Iran are slim. But once he reached the White House, his tone slightly changed.
Look, we're both united in the goal that Iran does not ever get nuclear weapons. If it can be done diplomatically in a full way, the way it was done in Libya, I think that would be a good thing. But whatever happens, we have to make sure that Iran does not have nuclear weapons.
I spoke to Mr. Sina Tosi. He has been tracking US's foreign policy towards Iran over the years. He gives us a sense of what Netanyahu wants and what Trump will do.
Trump had previously been very opposed to John Bolton saying that he wanted a Libyan-style solution to North Korea. So Netanyahu entered this meeting with these kind of maximalist demands on Iran, really trying to, I would argue, get Trump to rule out diplomacy and move towards military confrontation. But Trump, I think much to Netanyahu's consternation, in the meeting with Netanyahu announced direct talks with Iran and also on a number of other issues that Israel cares about, like Turkish influence in Syria, the Gaza war, the tariff issue, the tariffs on Israel as well, that Trump seemed to, hold his line and not give in to what Netanyahu wants.
Trump did not mention the Libya-style agreement even once, at least on camera. But he also hasn't ruled out a military approach. You see, the White House is basically divided. Some of his close aides believe the diplomacy should be given a chance. Others think the train of diplomacy left the station as soon as Hamas attacked Israel in October 2023.
Well, they can't have a nuclear weapon.
Did you mean military action, though, if they don't agree?
Oh, if necessary? Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have a
deadline for these talks?
Yeah, I do. If it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody leads us. We do what we want to do.
Let's see the situation from Iran's perspective. The country has been on offense since the Hamas attack. Its axis of resistance, as it's called, is fighting against multiple actors in the region. And this is frustrating and exhausting the main unit, Tehran. The nuclear talks are coming at an important but delicate moment. many of the ultra-hardliners who are close to Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei have been warning against speaking to the US directly. They say it risks alienating the staunchest supporters at home.
They want to advertise that Iran wants to build a nuclear bomb. They say, we want to be sure. What do you want to be sure of? You have verified 100 times, verify 1,000 more times, but we need nuclear science and nuclear energy and all the related fields, and they will never meet this need. They want us to be humiliated, and we will not remain humiliated.
The Atomic Energy Organization of Iran indicated that the country has significantly expanded its uranium mining, which basically means that there are much larger reserves than previously estimated. A report in fact suggests that Iran could increase its ore production by almost 4 times this year. So how does Trump plan on negotiating?
In this past 10 years, since Trump left the nuclear deal, Iran has significantly expanded its nuclear program. It has much higher stockpiles of enriched uranium. It's much closer to nuclear weapons capability. And most experts estimate that if Iran made the decision to weaponize its nuclear program, it basically needs only a couple of weeks to amass enough fissile material to have a nuclear bomb. So Iran actually has more leverage with its nuclear program than it did 10 years ago. Its program is more advanced, the knowledge, the more advanced centrifuges. So the US getting what it got in 2015 is going to be much harder in terms of one of the key aspects of the nuclear deal was that Iran's so-called breakout time, the time it needs to build a nuclear weapon, was estimated to have reached 1 year under the nuclear deal. But now it seems like most experts believe that at best the US can get maybe a couple months or at most 6 months.
The stakes are clearly sky high in Oman. Iran is coming to the table under pressure, but from a position of resilience as well, while the US is divided between diplomacy and force. As Netanyahu lobbies for a military intervention, the window for diplomacy seems to be closing fast. Whether this Saturday revives diplomacy or sets the stage for another war, either way it will shape not just Iran's future, but of the entire Middle East.